You are now tuned in to The Money Zone with your host, Folasade, the accountant for entrepreneurs. The time is now, your future waits, your money matters, make no mistake, it's not too late to dominate, so don't delay, get your money straight. The money zone, together we'll achieve your goals, we're building wealth, you're not alone, so don't delay, get your money straight.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Money Zone. I'm your host, Folasade, the accountability accountant. Look guys, I haven't been on the show in like almost 3 weeks, so I done forgot that I had to do my intro. I'm telling Brian like, okay, no, we could come back at like 7:09. He like, okay. So look guys, just bear with us today. We may be having a little bit of technical difficulties, but I'm your host, Folasade, the accountability accountant, guys. I'm excited for you all to be here today on RIP Radio Network, guys. We have an exciting guest that'll be coming live with us shortly, asking him some amazing questions. But you know what? Let's just see where you guys been. Look, because I haven't been on the radio show in almost 3 weeks, so the challenge has gone extremely well. The ladies are getting massive results, and they are achieving their goals. But the issue is, guys, I'm seeing that there's a lot of BS happening in this world of entrepreneurship. Everybody says that they are entrepreneur until it's time to go to work. So our guest, Rashad, Instagrams and social media top financial advisor, just called in, guys. So we're going to just take a quick break and then we'll be bringing him in. So if you guys have any questions, you go, can they call in while he's...
It's best later.
Okay, so if you guys have any questions for him or for wait until after we, get him off, and then you guys can come and post your questions, or you can join in on ripradionetwork.com, where we'll see your questions live as well. So we'll be right back.
You are now tuned in to The Money Zone with your host, Folasade, the accountant for entrepreneurs. The time is now, your future waits, your money matters, make no mistake, it's not too late to dominate, so don't delay, get your money straight. The money zone, together we'll achieve your goals, we're building wealth, you're not alone, so don't delay, get your money straight.
Hello?
So look, all of you guys that's only see the show on the studio site or like on our syndicated site, like on iHeartRadio and everything, you guys don't really get to see the behind the scenes and like all the pressure and the stress that I endure behind the scenes. But it's absolutely amazing. We are excited to have our guest already here. Is he called in, Brian? Rashad, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, welcome to the Money Zone, Rashad. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for coming on the show. Look, I see you out there on those internet. You interviewing DJ Envy. Look, I was like, I don't know, Rashad might be too busy for us, But I'm excited that you decided to come on and just really, get out there into the community that this stuff that me and you talk about, money, financial advisement, everything, it involves us to keep that in the forefront. If we don't have those money conversations, then what are we talking about? So guys, if you don't know who's on the call, I call him Instagram social media's top favorite financial advisor. Have they coined you that yet? Look, we about to coin him.
I'll take that.
Yep, social media's top financial advisor. So I found Rashad because one, when I was noticing that, okay, who's out here talking about finance, who's talking about money, who's talking about this, he put a whole spin on the game. And that was prior to him starting his podcast, Earn Your Leisure. He was actually taking financial knowledge and putting it on a spin in terms of the entertainment industry and b-ball and all of this stuff. And I kept sitting back like, how's this dude doing it? Then you did an interview with somebody. You said about you were a top athlete, like you did AAU growing up. You went to a top school in Hawaii. And I said, you know what? That's what it is. So can you just tell the audience a little bit about how you got into the financial industry, Rashad?
So I always was in the finance. A little echo. I don't know if you hear that. But I always liked finance. I always liked money my whole life. So I always knew I wanted to be in business in some form, but I wasn't sure exactly what area I wanted to go into. Can you hear me? Hello?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I always knew that I wanted to go into business. I just wasn't sure exactly what. So yeah, as you said, I used to play sports growing up. I played basketball, and after college, I was kind of at a fork in the road. I didn't really know where I wanted to go as far as my life and what I want. I tried my hat at financial advising while I also was preparing to go overseas to play basketball. So overseas didn't really work out, and I came back and I studied and took the test that was needed to pass to start practicing as far as being a financial advisor. And I just tried it out, and that was 11 years ago. I've been doing it ever since. So that's kind of my journey into the business and how I got started.
I like that because not only are you able to help the people in terms of your expertise, but you're able to guide them and do the work for them. I'm seeing so many, sorry to say this, Instagram frauds where they're only able to keep saying, oh, well, you can do this and you can do this, but they cannot actually assist them in applying that knowledge. So no, look, guys, you see how he went from not playing basketball anymore and allowing the basketball to lead and still incorporating his passion into where he is right now. So if you are an entrepreneur and your first baby didn't work, if your first idea didn't work, then look at Rashad. Look how he now probably bigger now and probably going to be bigger than what he would have ever been if he would have just went directly into the NBA or overseas or anything else like that. So look, Rashad, I'm just curious, right? Is there a distinct connection between black athletes and the way that they manage money and the whole black community?
Yeah, I think that for the most part, athletes, entertainers, it's just that a lot of times, and they're getting better with that too. It's becoming, more trendy to actually save and invest in real estate and stocks. But, for a long time, you've heard stories about athletes and entertainers, rappers and stuff running through money. But that's just because they're on a platform where people can actually see them do that. But the average person does that every day. Unfortunately, it just comes down to lack of education, poor spending habits, things that lack of discipline. But they just have more resources available to them than the average person. and they're on a larger platform where you can actually see it for the whole world to see. But yeah, they're just regular people, and you know, their problems highlight the problems of the community as a whole. So it's never something that I look at like to look down on or to ridicule them, because they're representations of all of us, really.
I like that. So Rashad just basically said that all of the financial issues that our black athletes and our black entertainers are exhibiting on the forefront, they're actually just illustrating the same issues that we are facing within our community, but behind closed doors. So we're not going to see Bob down the street, you know, blow all the money at the liquor store or blow all the money at the gambling hall, but we will see that publicized for one of our top athletes. And so one thing we have to really look at these athletes and say, okay, you know what, if they're making these mistakes with that large money, then how am I going to better manage my money if I was to get in that position? So I really like how you took your passion for the sports industry, and you actually even took it even further. So you're now really incorporating entertainment. I saw you did something with Kanye West, so what made you, did you know that was how to get into the doors of the black community? Did you know we had to put that spin on it to get into the doors of the black community?
Yeah, I did, just because that's what I'm interested in growing up. I mean, that's what we grow up on, sports entertainment. That's like, you know, it's for everybody, for every culture, but especially in our culture and black culture, that's like really, really big. And that's something that people really pay attention to. So I knew with financial literacy, you know, some people might be interested in, but I knew more people will be interested in it if I can tie it in with sports and entertainment. So I kind of use the sports entertainment as a Trojan horse to, you know, to get the message in. But I like sports entertainment anyway, so it's not like a forced thing for me, because those are conversations that I'll be having anyway. So I'm like, okay, if we're going to talk about sports and entertainment, we might as well, you know, have some education in it. And that's kind of even how the podcast got started. But yeah, so to answer your question, I did know that, and that's one of the reasons why I kind of keep it the same how I keep it as far as sports entertainment and business, because I know that people are really into sports entertainment.
Your entrepreneur, he just gave you guys a little bit of low key strategy, y'all. Like, he basically is saying, like, incorporate what you think is trending or what you think is popular into your everyday message. So for all my entrepreneurs, if you just watching this like, oh, what'd he say? Oh, what'd she say? No. Go deeper into what he basically said. He just gave y'all a little bit of strategy. Rashad, did you know you gave them, my people, some strategy?
Nah, you gotta mix the medicine with candy. So it's just like a kid. Like, you know, sometimes the kid doesn't want to drink the medicine, but you might have to mix it with Gatorade. You got to kind of trick them to taking it. So that's the same thing with adults. There's no difference.
Sometimes we may have to trick people. And so that's just like me when I come with my like I did, a spade is a spade. Y'all didn't know I was going to be talking about accounting. What I did, my spade is a spade live stream. So tell me, what triggered you to start your Earn Your Leisure podcast? Because you had already a huge following on Insta already. I know they were already blowing up your DMs. What triggered you to start your podcast?
Yeah, the podcast just started because people wanted extended dialogue from my Instagram. Like, I was putting up like 60-second Instagram posts, but you know, people was just asking for, you know, extended dialogue. So I felt a podcast would be the best avenue for me to actually give them that extended dialogue. So I just asked my best friend Troy if he wanted to you know, be my co-host, if he wanted to do it with me, and he said yeah. He came with the name. The name was his idea. And we just launched it. So we didn't really have expectations for the podcast. I honestly just started it just so I can get more content out and just so I can have an extended platform. So, but then the podcast just became bigger than my page, and it's bigger than any of us thought it would become. So it's turned into like a whole media company and a whole entity within itself. So.
Right. So, you know, trademark it. You know, look, you got to get all that done now. Look, Rashad. So, all right, so you got the podcast, you dominated Instagram. What impact have the audience made on you? So I know you know, you get the accolades. Oh, Rashad, you know, thank you for this post. But when you read those DMs saying that you changed my life, how has that made you feel?
Nah, it's encouraging. You know, the other day somebody 22-year-old. He's 22 years old, young man. DM me from Camden, New Jersey, which is, anybody who don't know Camden, that's like a real rough neighborhood. And he was just saying, like, he bought his first investment property because of some of the posts that I was putting up and some information from the podcast. And from there, he's on his way to hopefully become a real estate mogul. So things like that, that's real powerful. That's in real life where people was like, really making decisions based off of information that you provide is kind of crazy. Like, but it's real. So all of those messages, extremely humbling, and it's also encouraging as well, for sure. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes, this world of entrepreneurship can be extremely challenging. And I know you're a partner at, let me make sure I'm pronouncing your last name, Bilal?
Bilal, yeah, like the singer.
Look, because but somebody else said it differently. Siri said different. I look, and I'm like, okay. And then my name is African, so I'm like, okay, hold on. Let me just breathe for a minute. So I know you became partner in the Bilal group, right? How have you been able to use your financial company to be able to help Instagram, your followers, and your tribe?
Yeah, so yeah, that's what I do for a living. I'm a financial advisor, so and I help people out with investing and college savings, insurance, and stuff like that. So yeah, Instagram, like I said, I mean, you meet people. It's a good networking tool, and for I never really post anything on Instagram to like try to get people to become my clients. It's really just for information. Now we have a podcast, and now that it's the goal is to grow the podcast. But if people ever want additional help, or if they have questions and stuff like that, then yeah, of course they could they could feel free to reach out in different channels, and I meet other professionals. Where I might even be able to help them out. Like, I might be able to, meet a real estate broker, and I might be able to refer somebody to him, or accountant and refer somebody to her, and stuff like that. So I think social media in general is a very good networking tool. It's a very powerful tool. It just has to be used for the right thing. A lot of times we use social media for the wrong thing. It's like just entertainment and just nonsense, which is, it's cool on a certain level, but it's like, it's so much more powerful than that. And you can really do a lot of good things for the world, and you can, do good business on social media too. So it's just important just to realize the power of social media, because that's the day and age that we're in. There's no getting around it. This is where we're at. So we just got to make the most of it.
So look, guys, he hitting that Gary V strategy, jab, jab, right hook. He basically been giving out content for years and years, and I guarantee you that his potential prospects, his clients, are in his DM just by him remaining consistent. Because I haven't seen you miss a day. Because I'm pretty consistent. I haven't seen you miss a day or miss a post yet since you started, kind of dominating things with the way that you've been putting the financial information out there. I haven't seen you miss. So, guys, he's using Gary Vaynerchuk's strategy in terms of jab, jab, right hook. He's giving you guys all of the knowledge, and then if he have a meetup, or if he want to sell a shirt, or if he want to, probably convert you into one of his investment clients, then you guys may not be hesitant to move over to him, because he went on ahead and seeded you so much knowledge and expertise. So for all of my entrepreneurs that is struggling with putting out content, or it's like, oh, Folasade, I put out content for 1 month and I haven't gotten any clients, come on now, jab, 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 right hook. Put in some work, put in some 6 months to a year, 2 years of a consistency, and then let's talk about whether or not you're making money at that time. So Rashad, look, okay, so if you can just share one best tip or one advice for the Black community on how to jumpstart their lives to having a better financial freedom, where would they start? What would be one of the first tips that you give them to jumpstart that?
Discipline. I think discipline is extremely important, and knowledge. So, there's a lot of different ways to make money. There's a lot of different ways to invest. So I don't want to say like this is the way to do it, but the key is to find what you're passionate about, what you feel comfortable in, and then become knowledgeable in that area. So you can make money in real estate, you can make money in stocks, you can make money in business, but discipline is the key component in all of those things. And what you said also a few minutes ago, as far as consistency, that's the biggest thing that people lack in everything in life, is consistency. And that's the one thing that can really make or break any level of success, no matter what it is. It's like you got to be consistent. So a lot of these habits they're not that directly related to money, but it relates back to money. And it's like you see people with poor consistency, you see people with low discipline, you see people that's not knowledgeable, and they're gonna make bad financial decisions. You see people that are very disciplined, are very knowledgeable, very consistent. 9 times out of 10, they're gonna make good financial decisions. So I would those things, like those core principles, go a long way in life, and they go a long way when it comes to handling money.
So let me ask you: are you a half breed? Are you a foreigner at all?
Nah, my I'm from New York. My parents from my dad's from New York. My mom's from New York. Her family's from Virginia. So I'm African American, 100%. Yeah.
You know why I asked that? Because your last name one, and then that discipline is what I find that most of Black Americans struggle with. Is that discipline? Is that consistency, structure, having that, robotic, somewhat semi-robotic lifestyle, so you can now catapult your life to the next level. So that's what that triggered that question in terms of, do you have any type of, foreign blood? So look, as you interviewed everybody, some big heavy hitters. What was the most impactful interview that you've had? Someone that was just swept you off your feet. You was about to cry. Tell me about it.
Nah, I mean it's I it's difficult to answer that because everybody I have different favorites for different reasons. But like we interviewed a restaurant owner from Baltimore, and that's still one of my favorite interviews. He's not a celebrity, but his story is so crazy. He was like in jail for 12 years, and he came home and he built the restaurant. But just the way he was breaking it down and his numbers, he was just like a really brilliant guy. And it was a really inspirational story too. And it's just I like stories like that because it's like life and business in general, it's never all good. Like you got ups and downs, but you got to be able to weather the storm and make it out. So that was personally one of my favorites. Chris Gotti. He used to run Murder Inc. with his brother Irv. That's another one of my favorite interviews just because it was entertaining. He told a lot of good stories. Chris is a real funny guy. He gave us a lot of the behind the scenes stories of the music business and stuff like that. So that was a good one. We just did DJ Envy and his partner Caesar. That was very educational. So yeah, I have different favorites depending, but my favorite part about the podcast is just meeting people because you meet so many different people and everybody has a different personality. And then we develop relationships with a lot of the people that we bring on the podcast. And, it's just cool just to network and just to, get the behind the scenes of how somebody really is and how things really operate as opposed to just like what you see online.
When you said something, relationships as entrepreneurs. So just so you know, Rashad, the Money Zone, I kind of spin everything that we talk about right around into your money, entrepreneurship, the impact that it will have on your bottom line. And so what I'm finding is startup entrepreneurs, they're not really building relationships. It's all about that immediate buck, that okay, I want to close this client so I can make the money. Not realizing this client you may not want to close because they may be a better referral partner. Or this one, you may not even want to focus on that because this person may be able to connect you with people or, be your future resource. So for you to stress the importance of relationships, I'm hoping that you guys are listening to this. It's not just about the immediate. Everything that this gentleman has said tonight was the long game. Rashad, you playing a long game.
You got to.
Yes.
It's important.
I'm impressed. You playing a long game, and I rarely see that because I work on the back end of hundreds of small businesses. All I'm seeing, quick. That's it. Rush. And then there's no discipline, no consistency, no pull through. So this is exciting to see that we still have folks out here that is willing to put in the work for the long haul, for generations to come. And that's an example. You're exhibiting exactly what the products that you actually offer, because most of your products have long-term gain, long-term returns. It's not a short-term gain. Okay.
Nah, it never is. Nothing happens overnight. And that's the same thing with investing. That's the same thing in relationships. You always gotta, you gotta think for the future. You can't just think in instant moments, short-term gratification. You gotta think long-term for sure.
So before we take a quick break, I just want to get your opinion. Robert Kiyosaki said in a recent interview, I think it was Brian Rose, that if you were born poor, you will die poor. Do you agree or disagree with that statement?
If you're born poor, you will die poor? That's what you said?
Yep, that's what he said. He said if you were born poor, you would die poor. So he basically connected in the terms of like if you don't get financial literacy or financial empowerment or financial knowledge or expertise, then you're going to end up dying poor. Do you agree kind of with that statement?
Well, I mean, I'm not really sure as far as like what context he said it, because obviously that doesn't guarantee that you will die poor. We've seen plenty of people that were born poor that, didn't die poor. They became wealthy. Now, the odds are obviously stacked against you. And, yeah, majority of the people that are born poor will die poor. It's just the way of the world, and that's just the odds. But I wouldn't necessarily say if you're born poor, you will die poor. It's just you have a uphill battle. You have a harder fight to fight, but there's opportunity. There's always opportunity, and I definitely wouldn't say that, because, like I said, I mean, I personally know people that were born poor and they're not poor anymore. So, and everybody does. I mean, it's not hard to just look at examples of people that were born poor and they're not poor anymore. So, but as I said, if you're not provided with the luxuries of having money, then it's up to you to actually do things to actually educate yourself and change the course of your family's history. So that's not easy to do. That's very difficult to do, but it definitely can be done for sure.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you, Rashad. Like, if somebody would have told me that this journey to build financial wealth and financial freedom for my family would have been this difficult, I probably would have closed the doors 5-6 years ago. But now, because I'm so in too deep of it and I love it and I deal with the risk and the responsibilities, the employees, the work, it's kind of, I live with it. But you just said a major point, like, are we able to correct things? Are we able to learn what's necessary? So, even if you were born poor, you don't necessarily have to die poor if you're willing to do the work in between. But like you said, if it's just harder. It's just harder. So guys, we're going to give Rashad a quick little break. So we'll be right back. Go ahead on and share the video if you're watching us on Facebook or Instagram or anywhere. Share the video. And if you guys have any questions, post them under the chat, guys. We'll be right back, okay? Can you hear me? Okay. Oh, okay. Welcome back to another episode of The Money Zone. I can still hear the music. I'm your host, Folasade, the accountability accountant. Guys, if you did not know, I help entrepreneurs and individuals achieve their business goals and live the life that they dreamed of by incorporating the numbers and holding them accountable so they can basically write that check, right? So guys, we have Rashad, Instagrams and social media top financial advisor in the building. We're just having this candid conversation about how he got started and what, pushed him to start his podcast. And he indirectly, guys, giving you all some nuggets. If you learn how to dig beyond the surface, like I've been teaching you guys on the Money Zone, you never should look at a person and being, idolized. Also look at them as like, okay, how can I learn from this gentleman? How could I take from his posture, his demeanor, from this and that, and then take and learn from every person that I ever talk with? I learn and gain something from every person. So guys, when you're watching interviews, don't just go into like, oh, and forget about all of the knowledge that you may not have heard or that was overlooked. So Rashad, you still in the building?
Yeah.
So look, I just got this question. So do you feel as though entrepreneurs or just individuals that want to gain financial freedom, do you think that they can gain financial freedom by not looking at the numbers?
By not looking at, like, just having an investment and just letting it just do what it does and just not paying
Or
attention
just
to
having
it.
a business, or just having a business and just letting the business run and not looking at the numbers, both ways.
No, I mean, anything is possible. So yeah, you can you can potentially do that, but I wouldn't suggest that because, a business is like your child. It's like saying you're having a child and just letting them just run the streets and not, have no care in the world about what they do. Like you got to be like on it. You got to know exactly all of the ins and outs of your businesses. You got to know how much money is coming in, how much money is coming out. That's actually one of the reasons why a lot of athletes and entertainers go broke, is because they don't keep track of it. They let, their accountants, their business managers write checks for them, pay their bills, complete access to the accounts, and they're not even worried about it. They just doing what they do as far as just performing. And before you know it, somebody takes 10 million, 15 million, 20 million from them, and they don't even realize what happened. So you should always keep track of your money, your business, your investments, all that stuff is important. Because like I said, I mean, it's you don't want to work hard for something and then just throw it away. You want to work hard and then preserve it. So it's working hard for you.
Wow. Wow. So he said basically, you might be successful, but the odds may be against you guys. And why, go that route? Like, it's just like, would you let your son or your daughter just run the streets? I like that analogy, D. Would you just let your son or your daughter just run the streets without getting without setting the laws and looking at and shutting them down? And you wouldn't. A real mom and dad would say, hey, sit back. This is what you're doing. Look at your behavior. And that's the same thing that you guys are so supposed to look at when it comes down to your money. So, Rashad, we about to get ready to close. I have like maybe one or two questions, and then we're done. I know you have a busy night ahead of you. So, I know through your social media platforms you've been able to touch the African American community, right? How, if you were able to touch as many, well, let's say 1 million of us just from being on the Money Zone right now, what's one piece of advice that you can give us as a whole to reduce consumerism?
To understand that money is an opportunity cost lost every time that you use it for something that is not going to come back. So what I mean by that is that, when you start to look at money as an opportunity to make more money, then you're less likely to spend it on frivolous things. Money is a tool, and it should be used to make more money. So if you have $30,000, you could spend that $30,000 on a Rolex. And the problem with that is that now that money is gone. You don't have that 30,000 anymore. But if you spent the 30,000, or if you invested the 30,000, then it could potentially grow to, let's say, 120,000. So now that 30,000 that you spent on a Rolex actually cost you 120,000, because now you don't have opportunity to actually make more money from it. So it's important to look at it like, money, like I said, is a tool, seeds that should be used to grow and to make more, not to just spend and just, feel good in the moment buying something. So once we understand that, we understand money a little bit more, we'll be less likely to just throw it away, because we see that even from a selfish standpoint, it's like if somebody gave you $30,000 and they're like, okay, save it next year and you'll have 120. If you already knew that you would have 120 next year, odds are you'd be more likely just to save it. You wouldn't spend it. So, it's important to look at it like that. It's a tool. It's not just like coupons that you can just go and just spend for whatever you want.
I like that. So money is a tool, guys. And when we start, and that's also what many of us have read, that when we start identifying what we're going to use our money for, then the reality becomes a bit easier to deal with, or we're able to handle things a bit better and being a little bit more in control. So Rashad, if you want to, just give me one thing you would like to leave the audience with. How could they find you? Your favorite quote, one impactful last statement, anything. What you want to say?
I can't think of a quote right now, but I would just say, just to be balanced. That's my thing. My thing is just to be balanced. I try to just be balanced in all things in life. I'm not saying to never having a good time, to never buy something. You want to enjoy, you want to live life, but just remember that there's always balance, and balance is just usually the best way. You don't want to be extremist in anything that you do. So for every dollar that you spend, try to save a dollar, try to invest. And every pair of sneakers that you buy from Nike, try to buy some Nike stock, and you'll see your life change over the course of time. And education is extremely important as well. So try to educate yourself as much as possible. There's all kinds of different resources now, YouTube, Google, podcast, even social media, like I said, can be a good resource if you follow the right pages. So, I just encourage everybody just to educate yourself and understand that, it's not something that you just become a genius on anything overnight. It's an ongoing process, and just be humble enough to learn, understand that you don't know everything, because nobody knows everything. And, you'll see a change. And if you stay down, you'll come up eventually for sure.
That was a mouthful. Rashad, me and my team, we say thank you. All of my tribe, the Money Zone, we say thank you. Rip Radio Network, we say thank you for coming on the show. Look, it was amazing. And you have more character than what is illustrated online. Like, we know you big boy, but your presence here tonight, the excellence that you've exhibited, and I just love everything about your brand now even more. So you have a supporter here. I would love to, connect with you a bit further. So guys, go and show Rashad some love. Share up the video. When we post the videos, go follow him. If you need, do you have any freebies or any type of tips outside of like where they can get on your mailing list or anything like that?
Well, social media, you can check out my page, Rashad Bilal, at my Instagram page. I post, like you said, I'm pretty consistent. I post a lot, like almost every day I post a couple posts a day. And then Earn Your Leisure, that's the podcast page. That's another informational page. The podcast is called Earn Your Leisure. That's on YouTube, Apple, Google, all the outlets. So, as far as anybody, and then we're going to start doing a bunch of different stuff. We have workshops that we're going to start to do. Physical location will be in New York, but we'll have a live stream, so anybody can stream it anywhere in the world. And then we got a lot of different stuff that we're working on. But that's the best way, just to stay in touch. Social media, just stay in touch. Different updates that will be rolling out very, very shortly. And feel free to reach out too. You can email me, DM me, and then I get a lot, but I try to answer as much as I possibly can.
I don't even know how you over there handling. I don't know. So Rashad, thank you so much. I know you busy. You have an amazing night, and I'll be talking to you once we're done. We're wrapping everything up, okay?
All right. Thank you.
I'm gonna take a quick break, and then we will be right back, okay?
You are now tuned in to The Money Zone with your host,
guys, welcome back to another episode of The Money Zone. I'm your host, Folasade, the accountability accountant, guys. Today was our very first interview of many, many more. We have some amazing names, some amazing big hitters coming on to The Money Zone, because remember, my goal is to bridge the gap between where you are right now and where you guys want to be. So I need people on The Money Zone to give you guys the knowledge, the expertise, and just the motivation to be able to do what's right. So I don't know if you guys learned anything at all today, but you know I did. And one thing I like what Rashad said was, don't be an extremist. Have balance. How many of you shop too much? How many of you overeat? How many of you overdo anything? Have balance, okay? And that's balance with everything. And then one thing he also said was discipline. Right now, you guys know I'm hosting a 15-day Know Your Numbers challenge, and the lack of discipline is exhibited throughout this challenge. Everybody want to be an entrepreneur, but not understanding that entrepreneurs have the utmost discipline out there. We don't get to, most entrepreneurs really don't enjoy the fruits of their labor as much as everybody else does. I'm gonna be honest with you, because most of us, especially if you're not like a kid and you have like a family or whatever, right? Most of your family is the ones that's enjoying the fruits of your labor more than you do, and you get a kick out of that. But then that's called that balance. But if you guys aren't disciplined enough, are you ever going to be able to live the life that you dreamed of? Because if you're saying you want to be in the top 4%, if you're saying you want to be in the top 1%, or have the, even if you're not in the top 4% in terms of income, right? But in terms of wealth, which is different, they're totally two different things. Income and wealth is totally two different things, right? In terms of wealth, if you want to be in the top 4% or 1%, that means you're telling the world that you want to be better than 96% of the people that's walking around all over the world, or you want to make more money than 90% of every person that's walking around. Every person that's online, all the billions of people, you want to make more than 96%. How selfish could we get if we say that that is supposed to be easy, or we shouldn't need discipline, or we shouldn't need perseverance, or we shouldn't need a little bit of grit? If you say you want to make more money than 96% of the world's population, then shame on you if you're not willing to do the work, if you're not willing to learn and educate yourself. So Rashad said something out on his closing. He said, be humble enough to educate yourself. How many of you hire coach after coach, but you're not humble enough to accept that you have to do the work and you have to listen? Hiring a coach is the one thing. Doing the work is another. Being humbled and saying, Folasade, I need to join Business University because I don't know my numbers, because I don't have business acumen, because I paid $30,000 in coaching fees last year and I didn't make any money. Being humbled and admitting that so you can get to your next level is required. Because not one person that I know of that have gotten a level of expertise or mastery in anything was acted like they knew everything. Okay, so guys, if you have any questions, you can call in 301-232-5700. I'm Folasade on Rip Radio Network. So guys, we are about to wind down, so I won't be able to take a break before we go into the hot topics. So let me just let you guys know. The IRS has changed the 1099 miscellaneous form. So back in the day, around like 1985, right? Like when I was born, right? The IRS had a different type of tax form. And that particular tax form, it was 1099 non-employee compensation, right? And then they also had the 1099 miscellaneous. However, the IRS they let go of the form, expired the 1099 non-employee compensation, and just threw a box on the 1099 that included non-employee compensation. So basically what I'm saying is that all of the forms that you guys have been using or accustomed to use to issue 1099s or receive 1099s have been changed. You have to use the updated versions. And now, instead of you being able to submit all 1099-Ms and, and it having other income or it having federal taxes withheld, or it had some type of other box checked in it, right? Now it's more work. So guess what? The IRS has made you guys need us accountants even more. So everybody keep telling, oh, Folasade, the technology is going to burn accountants out. I'm like, oh, no, it's not. Because guess what? The tax law keep getting complicated. And then eventually they're going to make bookkeeping a requirement, because I'm going to advocate for that. They're going to make bookkeeping a requirement, and then you guys will never be able to do without accountants, like ever, right? Oh, but no, that's one thing. The IRS have changed their form. So just look out for the new release coming up soon. And then also, all of you that have filed partnership extensions and S-Corp extensions, your returns are actually due the 15th of September. So if you haven't filed your partnership tax return as of yet, or your S-Corp tax return as of yet, you either need to be giving my office a call tomorrow at 202-618-1297. Give my office a call tomorrow to get on my calendar so you can definitely, get your taxes filed. And it's so fun. I'm glad I'm going to have my team change that. Send a call now. I'm going to make it, behind the scenes, y'all. Nothing is perfect. You tweak it as you go. That's the trick. So a lot of you guys are stuck in like perfection mode. Nothing is perfected until you make it happen. So guys, that's basically all that we have for you guys on the Money Zone today. So don't forget, I'm opening up enrollment for Business University for Entrepreneurs, where entrepreneurs, I will help you build your business acumen, help you get your money systems in order, hold you accountable, teach you marketing, branding, everything I've learned and struggled with to get to where I am right now. I'm going to teach you guys in 2 16-week sessions for Business University. So go to bit.ly/Business University for Entrepreneurs. So guys, that's it. That's all that we have for you guys, and I'll see you all next week. Bye, y'all.